Hello everyone, good morning. This is Amin Mustafa. Welcome to Happy Learnings. Today we'll be learning a quick concept related to TypeORM. So we'll be using with Nest.js. Nest.js is another framework like ExpressJS built on top of Node.js. So what are we learning today? So we'll be learning a concept called data mapper and active record, which is a standard and used in production. If you so before going into that, let's understand what is TypeORM. If you have worked in Java, so for connecting with database, we do not directly write raw query. So we connect using JDBC. Similar to that, we have SQLize. I've been using in one of the project where instead of writing raw queries, what we do, we use this SQLize pattern, any ORM for connecting. So using SQLize, what happens? What is secure? Database models are written in one place, maintainable in production. So for that reason, we generally use ORM. So whenever today or in future you'll be working with Nest.js, so most like every programming language have some what do you say compatible ORM. So type ORM is mostly used with Nest.js. So what are we learning today is whenever we are saving anything, means any action with database, find, create, any CRUD operation. So there are two ways we can handle uh, method, two ways we can connect with do interaction with database. One is active record, second one is data mapper. So why use type ORM? We no need to write raw queries. So in raw using raw queries is little unsafe. So based on the package and libraries we are using, no need to write raw queries, less code, less byte used. So we can write all the data model in one place, no repetition. It uses oops, so inheritance, all the oop concept is achievable here. So quick understanding how code travels. You will when we learn any language, mostly they have the same format standard. So let's understand for the nestjs so how it works. So whenever we go to the module, using module we go to the controller. From controller we go to the service go to the repository. No need to go in depth understand that, but just what I'm trying to say, it's a similar pattern used in angular as well mostly. So module decide where to go, controller, from controller it goes to service. All the business logic is written in the service layer. Okay, now we'll be understanding this. Don't focus on repository now. Quick video, easier to understand. The first pattern is active record. So what is active record? The core of this active record is, uh, if we go to type ORM, it should always extend one thing. I'll say you in a manner which is easier to understand. It should always extend base entity. It's imported from this guy, type ORM. And so it has some inbuilt. So coming back over here, where it is from module controller. So whenever we write any database, we create a model. In Nest.js, entity is represented as a model. So here, basically, any database you write, I'll show you in the code. Uh, just the type, primary key, column. They'll be using Postgres database. We can connect with any database. These are the three field: title, description, status. So this is the task table we have: title, description, status. These are the IDs generated. But the focus on the concepts. It is very easy, but it's understand high level is also enough. Okay. So what is active record? Coming back to the concept. So active record, what we do is we extend this base entity in the class where we write. After that, service file. Okay. In the service file, I'll show you the code right now, but understand this first. In service file, what we do? we instantiate this guy, this task, this class entity model, and we write our code here. And now based on the task, they have built-in method like find by one, find one by. See, all these methods are there. Okay, so this is the concept for the active record. The trick is we extend this base entity wherever we invoke. Standard practices invoking in service. So we invoke over here, and now this has by default the method interaction with the database. Well, you'll ask me how it will know whether it is a Postgres database or. Let me go to the code and show you. Okay, don't go into the depth, just understand the high level. Okay, so whenever you go to source, this is the main file. We have module inside that. Okay, models, components, you can say, like task based on when how your application or feature grows. Every component is like a model. So inside task we have task module. Okay, so what we'll do inside task module, so this is the sub module. Actually there is a parent module which is called app module. Inside app module, this TypeORM, here we configure we give the basic configuration. So basically this code is also placed somewhere for configuration. For now it is written here. Here we define the type. You're using Postgres, right? Here you're using MySQL, other database. All the database configuration is written over here. That's it. Now when we go to the task, the first step, what happens? It goes to the controller. Any method, we define a route over there. So we have a route. We will run this. Get. From here, we have imported this service over here, and basically what we are doing is we have this is the way it is actually a standard we use in production. Task service, from here it goes to the, suppose we are using this guy, task this dot task service dot task dot id. It goes over there. If we go click over here, here we write our logic, whatever we want to write for the database interaction. Okay, so what I was trying to show you is, so whenever the idea is you are interacting with database, so you will either interact using data mapper or active record. So we are seeing active record. So in active record, it always extends base entity. That's the key. And wherever the instance is created, it has set of methods over it. All right, the second way, and which is the most used way, is the data mapper. Okay, so what it happens, what the way I follow is that now inside service also, see, when application grows, code grows. It is the best way to create another file. So it another layer on top of service, which is repository. So over here we have written repository. When it comes to here, see, so the idea is that this class has independent of its own. We do not extend to the base entity, first one, and second, yeah, okay, there only. So all the methods are written in the repository file. So that's it for this concept. What you have to understand is in active record we can write the method over here itself, right? So we have one documentation, active record. It's a good documentation, it's an official one, so you will find it very helpful. For example, they have taken user instance. So what they have done, we can define methods over here only. Any method interacting with database, where, and they're interacting with DB. For data mapper pattern, what you use is, instead of there, they interact in the repository. So also it says the active record helps to keep things simple for smaller apps, but maintainability purpose we use data mapper. I'll show you how in a quick flow. I'll show you in over here. So if we go to the source, so this is a Nest.js app, and over here we have a module. Here we have configured Postgres basic credential, created one module task. If you go to the controller, so this is the entity we are using data mapper. We see export this, any entity which is not extending to this guy base entity is a data mapper. If it extends, it's a active record. First sign of understanding. Next is these are the fields we want. This is a model. Entity is a model in this guy. TypeORM. So this is ID, this is string, all the fields which we see over here, right? Title, description, status. Okay. Now what happen is, let's go to the controller. This is the first file where we write. So for example, fetching the ID. So this is just will pass the ID from the Postman and get the database value. This dot task service dot get task by ID. If we go to this method which is inside service, we write here this dot task repository dot find one. So now the magic is, see, if we go to this documentation, I'll link it. This is the repository method. There are lots of method over here which is defined. TypeORM knows which database you are using based on this configuration. Now they have lots of method over here like find one, find one or fail. Now based on the requirement which we do, the similar pattern we have seen in Laravel also. Most programming frameworks. So let me just do one quick run. Okay. For example, if we want to create a task, we have over here something Postman, create a task. Get new station. Field 8. Let's hit this next. The debugger mode. So we see that our this is created now. Okay. When we go over here, if we search over here, let's refresh this page. New entry should be created. Let me refresh. Continue. We see that this is created over here, right? Somewhere else. Okay. We have the ID over here, and using get all, get a task. We see we get the data over here. So if you want to conclude this, which one to use? Conclusion is data mapper is mostly used in production because it's simpler and easier to maintain the code. And yeah, so both the for smaller application active record can be used. For application data formatter, one is widely used. All right, so what we have learned now, the data formatter and active records are both ways in TypeORM pattern in TypeORM to interact with database. We can do any operation like fetch, post, put, patch, all the REST APIs action. So most preferred one is database in data format. Thank you everyone. That's all for this video. You liked it?